So you clicked on this video wondering how a beginner would approach learning C++. Well, you can click off now because this is how a genius like me would dominate C++. But before that, let's get to know her. C++ is a powerful low-level programming language used for creating game engines, drivers, high-performance application, and your favorite games. Is it still relevant today in the world of AI? Of course. And by the end of this video, you will probably understand why. So without further ado, let's begin. First of all, we need a code editor for running our programs. I will be choosing VSCode. You can download it from their official Microsoft site, but you can choose any one which you like. Next up, we can head to VSCode C++, setup to get the necessary packages and compilers. Also, for feasibility, you can install their code runner extension. Now let's write our first program. Let me be honest, even though I know some basic programming in Python, still executing a simple hello world program felt a big achievement for me. But eventually I was gliding through creating and manipulating variables, taking user input, forming math operations, and getting into the flow of creating a good logic. And without any hiccups, I was going through. Now, I will be moving on to conditionals. But here's a fun fact, if-else statements alone are more than enough to build a fundamental program, but a nightmare for scalability. I have a friend who tells me that he can literally build a working program just by using if-else, and he haven't learned a single thing beyond that. Yeah, that's the guy who watched the first video. Don't worry buddy, you're not getting past if-else anytime soon. Moving on to loops. If you ask me, loops are quite interesting. Powerful for automation of repetitive tasks, but a single mistake can freeze you up in an infinite loop and you will lose the program for sure. Now I would like to mention my first hiccup or the project which I created. I didn't think about that. Generating a random number, a simple task such as this would be so weird compared to Python, where it only takes 2 or 3 lines of code to generate a random number. Like as you can see, I just wrote 2 lines or 3 lines of Python code and I got a random number, whereas in C++ it was really complicated. Functions. These are simple reusable block of code, nothing fancy but pretty neat and useful. But not to lie, I was quite confused between parameters and arguments. I just didn't know which one was which. It was parameter, or this one was argument, or this one was argument, or that was one parameter. It was really confusing. But eventually I got the hang of it and moved on. Next up, arrays. These are basically collection of same data types. I won't go into details because I think those are very complicated. These are simple but most interesting. Most programs use them. I practiced this by writing a simple basic bubble sort program. Now even though this is one of the most easiest sorting algorithms after linear search, but my puny little brain took a long time to understand it. This part which every beginner, even me, fears. It's basically a minefield where a single misstep, just a single wrong program or just a single pointer which you have addressed could introduce a memory leak and not only crash the program but also your operating system. I did navigate it cautiously while I was learning about new keywords such as delete, new, and also safety measurements such as null pointers, which are basically empty pointers. Like I was flashbagged, like how much things I got to learn in pointers. Now do you remember how earlier arrays were static? We have to define the size earlier and then we have to be bounded by the size. but in pointers, I can create dynamic arrays which scales at the runtime. Now we have reached the luxury version of hoops. These are essentially classes, objects, to create a structured and isolated piece of code. This is what made me like I was creating some professional program, not just a basic hello world or math operation. I learned about methods, attributes, constructor, then overloading them. Eventually I learned about encapsulation, which basically means hiding the complicated stuff and showing what the user needs to know. Then naturally this led to inheritance, which you won't be getting even from your long lost relative. It simply meant that a child class inherit attribute and method from a parent class. I won't bore you with all the details because this is not a tutorial, this is only my journey. So yeah, I eventually completed oops too. And then finally setting with last topic, file handling. For this I decided to write a simple program which reads from a file and outputs the edited text. But I don't know for what reason it took me a freaking hour to complete this, and still the code was messy, it was breaking, I didn't know what I was writing. Let's just don't think about that and let's get over with it. So yes, done. Finally done. I have covered all the basic and important stuff and I am ready to become the greatest programmer that's ever lived. Yeah, that's covered. Now, just to get hang of it, I will create a final project to strengthen all the important concepts. I will quickly choose one of from the list of the beginner projects of the Geeks for Geeks, since those are really helpful. After scrolling through a bunch of projects on Geeks for Geeks, I landed on Student Management System. It covers most concepts which I learned so far, so it felt like a perfect project to put everything together. I quickly read through the requirements and started coding it out. And honestly, making something from scratch, even a terminal application, gave me this feeling. But that feeling was short-lived. After that, it was just fixing bugs and polishing. But overall, it was a really great experience. Well, now let's test it out. Thanks for watching, and I have got a lot more projects planned, so stay tuned.